Hi, this is David Newton speaking. My YouTube story thus far, the date, April the 14th, 2022. Now, you might ask, why am I going to share this particular story? Well, for one, it's kind of like a date timestamp marker, and to give a little bit of an update as to how my YouTube channel is going. So when I revisit this in times in the future, I'll be able to quote various different points of the compass of where we're up to. Yes, some of the overall metrics and so forth of where we're at, and a little bit of my own backstory in relation to utilising YouTube. Okay, let's jump into it, shall we? Hit that like button and let's continue. Okay, great. Well, look, just to give a little bit of a story, this is not the first time that I've done YouTube. I have done YouTube before, as far back as 2010, when I had first, I would say, probably experimented with it, and that is created particularly a couple of channels that had supported my events websites that I'd had way back then. Essentially, I had at that stage a fairly active relationships website, and as a result I was creating interviews and also various different stories on there which supported my website I had of the day. And also I had another website which was essentially various different types of events and walks, and I had created various different videos way back in those days as well. I suppose one of the things there is a big comparison difference between that time and this time is that YouTube has changed tremendously in that time. In the last 12 years, you could post up anything more than a decade ago and it pretty well would have got a few views, and YouTube itself had a completely different algorithm and a way of looking at things. Way back then, you probably didn't even need to have any thumbnails to grab attraction and interest from people scrolling through and finding out what was going on. Those people who did have thumbnails and very fancy edited videos were few and far between. These days, it's pretty well a completely different show. Today, it is a very highly organised YouTube, in my personal viewpoint. And you do need to have a completely different skill set. So what are some of the takeaways that I have seen since that particular time? Well, the first one would be the fact that we're operating at a much more higher, different level. If you're going to succeed in YouTube, you do need to post regularly, you do need to post consistently, and you do need to have a particular frame or aims or goal for your website. This doesn't necessarily mean it has to be niched per se, or niched to the nth degree, which I believe personally could probably rule you out from quite a lot of other different people out there. I'm picking a broader, for this particular channel that I'm working on now, that you're watching me on right now, I'm picking to work with events that support small business, plus a range of different small business topics, and that will also include books, because I also write books as well. And I also produce online courses. So over a period of time, I will be covering a range of different topics, but going back to some of my core topics, and those are all related to small business. The second point is you do need to be very good at filming, and you do need to be very good at editing. And you need to produce interesting content. Far more than what I was doing many, many years ago. Today, you do need to produce interesting content, and it has to be presented in a much more interesting way. And longer term is ultimately where it's at. Filming wise, I've upgraded by having 2 different camcorders, new and more useful for today's particular type of filming. And I also have various different editing suites, some of which are on my cell phone and some of which are on my desktop as well. And I've invested maybe not too much in that area, but a significant amount, so that I can now produce far better videos than what I used to do before, and to make a whole lot of interesting side effects, including special effects, music, and also special effects music as well, and special effects clips and B-roll. So there's been a whole range of different things there that I've been able to do, which I was never able to do before. And I believe that that's probably one of the things that I've had to invest in a fair amount of my skill set compared to where I was before. The other thing I would have to say is, apart from all of the editing and all the filming, if you are going to outsource anything, at least learn a little bit of what's behind it before you actually outsource it. This way you can certainly appreciate if someone is going to do any outsourced work for you, say for example on Fiverr or that type of thing. It's important to understand what's behind, or the mechanics behind it, because that way you'll have some kind of an overall appreciation, and you may be able to ask for particular things that if you didn't know how the mechanics of that works, you've then got a little bit of background, and that will carry you a lot further ahead in the future. So it is important to have some kind of videography support, some extra filming support, and have some knowledgeable people around you that can help you with things that you need to know. Now, on to my statistics. As far as my statistics goes, for this particular channel, at this particular point in time, I've got 15 uploads at this stage, and of course posting this video will make 16 for today. So that brings it to a total of 16 videos. And I've covered a range of different business topics in the process. Some of those videos have been successful, and I've also posted some of those videos that I've been working on my various different Facebook pages, to give a little bit of boost for some people to at least be aware of what I do, and to send a little bit of traffic to my little YouTube my YouTube channel website itself. So that's vital to do. I've also reposted some of my videos directly up to one of my websites, which was my davidnewtonevents.com website, in the form of video blogs. So that's also a part of it there too. The important thing is, at the moment now, you'll see either this side or this side of me at this stage some of my statistics. Overall, I've had important statistics there at this particular point of time. It should show up there as 108 views in the last 28 days. You'll see there on the screen, and you'll also see other different ones there. I'm just going to flash up, in no particular order, some of the different screens there as to my overall reach and how particular videos are doing. So just have a look through some of those. Stop the video if you have to and have a bit of a look. That's where I'm at the moment. So my channel is really tiny at the moment. Really tiny. And the next time I revisit this, maybe in a month or two's time further down the track, I hope to be able to update you with a few more of before and after type of statistics in the process. So what I would suggest is, yes, if you are wanting to put together some videos, and if you are wanting to do some filming of videos, by all means start. But if you start, look at it as a longer term thing. Even if you only film and upload one video a week, and essentially that's what I've done, is to start off with one video a week, it won't take long before all of that accumulates. And in the process of that accumulating, you will attract people that will subscribe to your channel, and you will attract people that will want to look at your website, or websites in plural, and check out what you're actually doing, and those people may well become customers. So I do strongly suggest that you give it a go and be persistent. It is not a sprint, it is a long-term marathon. It takes a long time for all of this to have a J-curve or something like that of results. So I'm fully well aware of that, but have a little bit of fun with it, because if you're having fun with it, those who are watching it will also have fun with it with you. So in the meantime, check out my websites, look at my stats there. I've just been posting up some various different stats there as we speak. And what I would also say is check out my additional videos, which you'll see the cards for those pop up right now. And please subscribe to my channel. I'd love that very much. And like and give us a comment below as well.